Steam is one of the most popular PC downloading services for video games on the planet. But is GOG.com better? Let's look into it. Once upon a time, when you wanted a PC game, you'd have to go to the store and buy a box and bring it home and install it on your computer. But nowadays, we really don't see that anymore. Most PC games are digital, and that's basically how they're distributed amongst the populace. But I think a lot of gamers out there that are PC gamers really only consider Steam as their viable option for playing video games, and in some instances they talk about Battle.net and some other ones for some very specific games. But when I think of Steam, I think of its direct competitor, at least in my mind, being GOG.com. Now, there are a lot of other digital distribution services like Uplay and I think Origin and stuff like that, but I don't think any of them work nearly as well as GOG.com's Galaxy service, which is essentially what Steam is, but offers DRM-free versions of games. Now, basically what that means is that when you go to buy a video game, whatever it may be on Steam, you get a digital copy that downloads onto your computer, but if you were to uninstall Steam, that game wouldn't work anymore. You basically have a DRM version of that game that has copyright protection on it. But when it comes to GOG.com, you download a package of the game, and you can just do whatever you want with it. Store it in a hard drive or put it somewhere else so that you never have to lose a copy of that game just in case the GOG.com servers go offline or something. Now, this is very important to me because I like to see games that basically have a longevity to them, so being able to take those games and store them away for the future is very important to, I think, me and a lot of other gamers out there. But when it comes to certain things that GOG.com does very well, there's a bunch of things that Steam does that sometimes can be a little bit better. Steam's got this really cool feature to it where you basically can talk to people and communicate with folks, and I think the general community when it comes around to Steam is just a lot more cohesive. Whenever I go to play a game on there, I always feel like I'm not really alone. I can always see when other people are playing games and a bunch of other stuff like that. But when it comes to GOG.com, even though they do have some of these features, they don't seem to work nearly as well. I never feel like the community on GOG.com is strong enough unless they're talking about specific retro games or maybe The Witcher or something like that. GOG.com service has some really cool abilities to it, but realistically, I think that what you're looking at is two very different stores that offer very different experiences. And one of the experiences might be better for you, and the other one might be even better if you consider that one of them doesn't have about 1,000,001 games on it that nobody cares about being shoveled and thrown at your face every single minute. Of course, I'm talking about Steam. Have you been on Steam recently? There's a lot of crap on there. I heard somebody tell me recently that there are about 21 games released every day on Steam. 21! There's no way that 21 games are good every single day. And of all the games I've seen on Steam, and I've bought quite a few of them, a lot of those games tend to be really, really bad. Some that don't even seem to be really worthwhile experiences at all, and that's just because Steam has kind of gotten bloated over time. But that's something that GOG.com has kind of avoided, as weird as it is. There are a lot of games you can buy on the service, but it seems to be a little bit more focused on quality than it is on quantity, which may be a benefit to it or might actually be something that harms it. Here's how I basically view these two services. When it comes to GOG.com, you're getting a whole bunch of games that are classic in most instances, but a whole bunch of new games and just some pretty cool indie games once in a while. Something like what Steam used to be like. But when it comes to Steam, you're getting iTunes, just everything all at once. So much stuff that you can't even pay attention to it. And maybe that's okay some of the time, but if you're looking for that more relaxed experience, I think GOG.com is the better option for some consumers out there. Now, as far as I want to go between picking which one's better, I will always agree that Steam is one of the most stable, best services for downloading and buying video games. But when it comes to the longevity of those games and those purchases, I gotta say that GOG.com just does it better when they give you those abilities to download those DRM-free packages. One way I could see Steam improving things is by offering DRM-free downloads of specific games. Obviously, just because they have so many games, they can't do it with every single one, but, you know, maybe they could do something like that. I think it would be a benefit to gamers to have their entire Steam library downloaded and backupped so that they don't have to worry about it in the future. And even though you can play Steam offline, sometimes those games just don't work that well offline because there's just elements of them that just don't click when Steam is offline in general. When it comes to GOG.com, they seem to do just a far better job overall of making those games run no matter what. And those are the two ways I see this. DRM-free experiences with a lot of really cool downloadable games, and Steam, which has become bloated over time, but has a ton more experiences and can be a little bit more stable. But I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think Steam is better than GOG.com, or do you think GOG.com is better than Steam? Or if you're one of the few people out there that think that Origin and Uplay is better, you need to tell me why, because I'm very confused on that front. And for everyone else that's using Battle.net, enjoy Overwatch. It's still pretty fun to play, I guess.